Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. It's remaining just some few hours to Monday's demonstrations. And behind the scenes, it appears political temperatures are rising. The government is coming out as being very desperate to counter Monday's demonstrations. Some few hours ago, about 1 hour ago as I speak, Raila Odinga took to social media accounts and had this to say. Raila Odinga, Mr. Rigathi planning mayhem against protesters. March 26, 2023, Rigathi planning mayhem against protesters. It has come to our attention that Mr. Rigathi is currently coordinating a major operation of mayhem against planned Azimio protest rallies scheduled to take place in Nairobi tomorrow. To realize this evil and bloody plans against otherwise peaceful protesters, Mr. Gachagua set up an armory and command centers in 2 different locations at a house next to the borders of Kenya that belongs to a former cabinet secretary and another on Hillcrest Drive, Nairobi, belonging to a serving cabinet secretary. These 2 homes are currently being stocked with all sorts of modern and crude weapons, including guns, pangas, and machetes for the said operation. These weapons are being ferried to the venue in a vehicle camouflaged as St. Mary's ambulance. Some of the vehicles deployed for this operation are KBQ 721J, KAZ 432F, and KBM 771Z, among others. The same crude weapons and forces uniforms are being dispatched to up-country locations in Western and in Nyanza, where youths have been booked in hotels with instructions to target specific Azimio leaders. A number of rebel Azimio MPs from these regions have been deployed in support of this dirty mission, especially in Western Kenya and Nyanza. In Nairobi, public service vehicles belonging to Embasava, Zuri, and Forward Circles have been deployed to ferry youths to places like Jogorod, Kibra, Dadora, High Rise, Mudhurwa, Kayole, Kariobangi, Korogosho, Mlango Kubwa, Githurai 44, and Githurai 45. Their mission is to target Azimio leaders in Nairobi, including Honorable Babu Owino, Honorable Opiyo Wandayi, and Honorable Edwin Sifuna, and Honorable Jeremiah Kioni, among others. When this planned mayhem comes to pass, Mr. Gachagua must be prepared to take full responsibility for it. Right Honorable Raila Odinga, March 26, 2023. Yes, that's Raila Odinga's late night expose. Yes. In this video, I want us to dig deep into this. But even before we do that, let's have a look at a response by Babu Owino. Yes, on this. Babu Owino, about 30 minutes as I speak, Babu Owino had this to say, these demos should go on daily. Hakuna kubembeleza mtu. And then Babu Owino attaches that expose by Raila. This is what we say, kimeumana. The government is planning to unleash goons on peaceful demonstrators. And you are seeing that the other side, they are also there in the government, that they are ready for their goons. And now these demonstrations should continue on a daily basis. I think Azimio side, before they called for the countrywide mass action, they had factored all this because this was expected. And these are things that are not only being done in Kenya. If you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. Let's dig deep into this. And for those who can remember, in this channel before even the demonstration started, I did put it very clearly here that Azimio side should be prepared to deal with the police, if possible even the army, and even goons. All these are being sponsored by the government. And I'm saying that basing my arguments on the recent revolution we saw in Sri Lanka, where Sri Lankan government, under the then President Gotabaya, unleashed the police, the army, and even goons on peaceful demonstrators. That never discouraged the demonstrators. They went ahead with their demonstrations, and eventually Gotabaya had to flee. That's exactly what is going to happen here in Kenya. Basing my arguments or rather observing what the government is doing, we are seeing a government desperate to counter protesters, to a point where we've even seen Interior CS Kithure Kindiki is proposing changes in law that will make it very hard for demonstrators. Yeah, Kindiki is proposing some changes that will make it very hard for demonstrators. What are the net effects of all this? By government using goons, that confirms the government is a moribund, a very disparate government. It's a government on its deathbed. Already, it has realized it does not have the support of the people, so it wants to use force to silence critics. Because if the government had people support, then that could be a government that could be ruling as per the law. But now the government going extrajudicial way, that confirms it's a government that is not actually, it does not enjoy that support from the people. It might be an illegitimate government. That's why they find it, they see no problem in using goons. And then secondly, obviously there is going to be serious conflict here, where in the event the goons try to interfere with the demonstrators, it's almost certain and very clear that demonstrators will be more than the goons. So you can just see the scenario, how it's actually going to unfold. The goons might actually find it very hard trying to oppress a popular will of the people. So for those who are being used, because some of our friends here have even sent me some photos of some individuals, which we won't be able to share with you here. But one thing that is very certain, this government is planning on using goons. And as Raila said, the meeting was done in two locations. One was done in a former cabinet secretary's house, and then another one was done in a current cabinet secretary's house. And from those who watched news today, we saw today Mount Kenya leaders, including the governors, met at Moses Kuria's house. So I just don't know whether Moses Kuria is the person being mentioned here. On that, I'm not very sure. But it might also be very possible that he might be the culprit in this case. And this can also explain why William Ruto was jetted out of the country. He might have known all this. So in the event there is trouble, William Ruto regarding Shagwam must and should carry the biggest, the greatest, and the highest responsibility. They are fully in this. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you.